morning and thank you for joining us today on Iogens TV. I'm Faith Ashu Oluwakemisola, and before the news in details, let's take a quick look at the trending headlines. On our local news today, the Supreme Court of Nigeria banned barrister's title, the SANS insists. On our political news, the military salaries hit 942 billion naira as Tinubu approves pay rise. And lastly, on our business news, stakeholders flag safety risk in CNG EV transition. Now the news in full. On our local news, the senior advocates of Nigeria have unanimously backed the Supreme Court's directive prohibiting lawyers from using the title barrister as a prefix to their names in official communications, describing the move as a reaffirmation of an existing legal and professional standard rather than the introduction of a new rule. The directive contained in a memorandum dated July 13, 2026, was issued by the Chief Registrar of the Supreme Court, Kabir E. Akombi, on the instruction of the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kudirat Kekereekun. The circular directed litigation staff, legal practitioners, courts, registrars, and lawyers to discontinue the use of the title barrister before their names in all official correspondence records, documents, identity, materials, and other official engagements with immediate effect. Reacting to the development, legal practitioners and senior advocates said the directive merely formalized a long-established position within the legal profession. Olaguju maintained that using barrister as a prefix amounts to professional misconduct because lawyers are admitted as barristers and solicitors of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. On our political news, military salaries hit 942 billion naira as Tinubu approves pay rises. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has approved a salary increase of between 30 and 80%, about 250,000 personnel of the armed forces, raising the military's annual wage bill from 660 billion naira to 942 billion naira, in what is the biggest upward review of military salaries under his administration. The new pay structure, which takes effect from September 1st, 2026, grants the highest increases to junior personnel, with soldiers from the rank of private to staff sergeants receiving an 80% salary increase, whereas officers to colonels getting 50%, while brigadier generals to generals will earn 30% more. 7 military personnel also welcomed the development but said they would reserve judgment until the new salaries are reflected in their bank accounts, stressing that effective implementation would be that true measure of the government's commitment to troop welfare. And lastly, on our business news, stakeholders flag safety risk in CNG EV transition. Key stakeholders in Nigeria's automotive industry have raised concerns over safety gaps threatening the country's transition to compressed natural gas and electric vehicles, warning that weak regulation, inadequate testing facilities, and poor public awareness could undermine the federal government's clean mobility agenda. The Federal Road Safety Corps, on its part, disclosed that it is developing standard operating procedures for the deployment and regulation of EVs and CNG-powered vehicles to ensure Nigeria aligns with global safety and operational standards. The concerns were raised at the third edition of the Nigeria Auto Industry Summit, organized by the Nigeria Auto Journalists Association in collaboration with the National Automotive Design and Development Council in Lagos over the weekend. Presenting a paper at the summit, the Director General of SON, Dr. Ifeanyi Okeke, said Nigeria's transition to cleaner transportation would only succeed if strict standards, effective regulation, and public confidence are prioritized. That'll be all for now. I'm Faith Ashu Ulakemsala. Do have a great day.